I'm going to be rambling about, I don't like the angle of this, rambling about my recent reads. So, I have two books that I'm going to be talking about. One I didn't finish, and we're going to start with that one first. So, this is the first book, and this one I do have the physical book of, so that's nice. So, this is You'd Look Better as a Ghost. You'd Look Better as a Ghost by Joanna Wallace. I did get this one from the library, so it has the cover on it, which I love the sound of. So, this book I kind of randomly got from the library. I went and I was looking for a fantasy book, but I didn't really find one that I was interested in at the time. And then I saw this one on the shelf as like a new arrival. And I recognized it as something I'd added on my Fable account, like a recommended to me book. And I was right. I didn't know, like I didn't remember what it was exactly about when I saw it, but I knew that I had it on my list. And it has the word ghost in it. So instantly I'm interested, because I love anything paranormal about ghosts. If you have any recs, please let me know, because that's one of the things I'm going to talk about this book. But yeah, so I saw this on the new arrivals, and I thought that I would get that. I got it. It was around Halloween time, I believe. When did I get this? Yeah, I got this at the end of October, so it was Halloween time, so I wanted something with like a kind of spooky type of vibe. How could I do this? So it says, I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die. Of course, it helps that I'm the one killing them. So instantly from that, I was very interested, right? Like, she sees ghosts, and she's also killing the people. So that sounded very interesting to me. We'll get into why that annoyed me later, but let's read the synopsis first. The night after her father's funeral, Claire meets Lucas in a bar. Lucas doesn't know it, but it's not a chance meeting. One thoughtless mistyped email has put him in the crosshairs of an extremely put-out serial killer. But even before they make eye contact, before Claire lets him buy her a drink, before she takes him home and carves him up into little pieces, something about that night is very wrong, because someone is watching Claire, someone who is about to discover her murderous little hobby. The thing is, it's not sensible to tangle with a part-time serial killer, even one who is distracted by attending a weekly bereavement support group and trying to get her art career off the ground. Claire will do anything to keep her secret hidden, not to mention the bodies buried in her garden. Let the games begin. Okay. So, I was very interested from that synopsis. I love this sounds so funny. is so cross of why I did not enjoy this book, because I did not enjoy it. That's why I did not finish it either. So it started off really good. Literally in like the first chapter, she already kills somebody. So that was very interesting, and I was like, okay, this is off to a good start. Like, we're getting right into it, and there's action. And then she kills somebody else, like, soon after that in the beginning. So again, I was like, okay, this is very fun. This is what I wanted, like, just crazy killer lady going around, and it was to like bad people, so I really liked that. Then it kind of took a turn and it got a little bit boring. So as it mentions in the synopsis, she's in a support group for her father who passed away recently, and those parts about the support group were just a bit boring. And then like nothing with the killings was going on at that point, so I was just waiting for stuff to happen, right? And then we're still in the beginning of the book, and somebody discovers her killings, and someone knows what she's doing, and so she is basically starts getting blackmailed by that person to, I don't really know what they were even trying to get her to do, just to help them with their sketchy things that they were into, I guess. And then they had a connection to the one person that she previously killed, and then that was honestly confusing to me. I really still, like, never knew what it was that they were doing, what their sketchy business was. I don't know. And so the connection to like why this person cared, it wasn't really strong enough to me, and like didn't really make sense. So then, this is a spoiler, okay? So if you don't want to hear this, skip a little bit. But basically then she takes care of the person who is now blackmailing her. And so after that, I was like, the book basically lost me, and I was just confused because I'm like, okay, well, we just got rid of the threat to her, like, soon in the beginning. I'd say it was like 100 pages in, maybe. Yeah, I think it was about 100 pages in. So then I was like, okay, first of all, that whole situation, again, with the person that was blackmailing her, I was just confused about it, and it didn't really seem high stakes to me, and it just, maybe it was the way it was written that made it seem a bit boring, but I just like wasn't really that into it. And then that part was over, so then I'm like, okay, well, what's gonna happen now? Like, what are we gonna do now? Because we still have so much left of the book, and that thread is gone. So what else is it gonna be? I ended up looking it up. You guys know me, like, I will look up spoilers to a book so fast if I know that I'm not gonna read it. And I do this to, like, I've done this to a lot of popular books that I know I'll never read because I'm not interested in them and I don't think I'll enjoy them, but I just like want to know what the tea is, and I want to know the spoiler and what happened. So I've done this to a lot of popular books. So I immediately like look up the spoilers as to what is then like the rest of the book about and what happens, and yeah, I would have been bored with the rest of it. I tried to read a few chapters after that, and I even started listening to the audiobook because I was like, okay, I don't really want to, like, I'm not interested enough to sit down and just dedicate time to reading this book, so maybe I'll continue it an audiobook and just have it playing while I am like doing chores around the house, you know. So I did that for a few days, but I stopped because I just wasn't interested in it anymore. So basically I was disappointed in this book. lost me and got boring and wasn't really about her actually killing people anymore. And again, I didn't feel like the threat to her that there was just like wasn't that scary or big of a deal to me. I don't know. Also, it was a bit boring with all the support group stuff, and I didn't really care about those other characters that were involved. So the other big thing that I was disappointed in, and I hate when books do this, guys. So obviously the title of this book is "You'd Look Better as a Ghost." Okay, a ghost. And then it literally says, their first little blurb says, "I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die." So obviously from that, I'm thinking that she actually sees ghosts. But she doesn't. Spoiler alert, sorry. She doesn't see ghosts. She just like, it's just like before she kills them, or before they die, she just like pictures them in her head like, oh, as a ghost already, you know? But she doesn't actually have a gift where she can see ghosts. So that was really disappointing to me, because again, it's literally in the title, and I like paranormal stories, so I wanted her to actually see ghosts and for there to be ghosts involved in this, so that was a little upsetting. I do again think that the writing was funny of the character, but it just got boring to me and became just a very like literary fiction type of book. But I was expecting more of what there was in the beginning, like more action, and more killings and things like that, more drama. So that is that. If you read this, let me know your thoughts on it. But yeah, again, I didn't finish it, so I don't have a rating for it. I probably, even like having not finished it, I'd probably say like I give so many books a 3, but I guess I'd have to take it down to like a 2.5 for the part that I read anyway. But yeah, so that's that. The next book I read as an ebook, so I have my Kindle here, although I actually read it on my phone, not on my Kindle, because I don't know why my account just like wasn't working and wasn't connecting, so I have to figure that out, because obviously I want to keep using this, but we're gonna use it to tap on, since I don't, oh no, my phone is dying, since I don't have the physical book, and I'm using my phone to record, so we're just, hello, so we're just gonna tap on this. So the that's what she does, and she's been there since she was a child, basically. And then one day, this woman comes into the prison who people believe is the rebel queen. So there is a rebellion going on outside of the prison, and they believe this lady to be the queen. They want to sentence her to these trials of the elements that basically nobody has ever completed, and they just die. They just want this lady to be dead and stop causing troubles. So they are going to send her to these trials, but she is so sick when she gets to the prison. So Kiva, the main character, I realized I didn't even say. So Kiva takes her place in the trials and tries to complete the trials instead of her, to then win her own freedom out of the prison as well. And along with this, there is this boy who arrived named Jaren, who she has been getting to know. And so there's a little, romance or a little something brewing between them as well. I probably just explained it really, really bad. I should put a picture of the synopsis so you can just read it for yourself. Because I feel like I'm terrible at trying to describe books in the way that the synopsis did after I read them. Because I have the whole story in my head, but I can't tell you guys. So yeah, that's a brief summary. So I read this book very quickly because again I was just in bed. So I finished it in 2 days. I think it's 400 something pages. So I finished it very quick, and I did enjoy it. However, it was a little boring to me towards the end of it, because it was kind of the same thing over and over of her days in the prison. Nothing was really going on, and to be honest, I didn't really get into her and the guy's friendship slash budding romance. It is supposed to be an enemies to lovers, but in this first book you really don't get that much, which is fine. But it was just because there wasn't that much, so when it came to a scene of them and there was already some feelings there, I personally didn't care because we hadn't seen that much of them, and yeah, I just didn't really connect to the characters that much, to be honest. And towards the very end, I did start skimming some pages because it was literally just her doing the same thing over and over in the prison, and I was honestly bored of it. However, I did already borrow the second book. I haven't started it yet, but I borrowed it right away after I finished it so I could have it, because I know since it is a trilogy, so the first book is bound to be just a setup and a little bit boring, so I'm hoping that it will pick up more in the second, which it should. But yeah, so I think also because the setting was the same for this whole book, they're just in the prison, so that is also why I was a bit bored. But onto the trials that she had to face, I honestly feel like they were lame. They're supposed to be this big, because this is a magical world, and they're supposed to be these big, really serious trials that's life or death and no one can beat it. And well, they were life or death, but it just felt like they were lame for being in a fantasy world. And then the trials just okay, go do that thing. And yes, it had to do with the elements, but not really. So I did feel those were kind of lame, and it didn't feel so high stakes to me when I'm reading. guessing these plot twists. Like, I feel like it's, at this point, the formula of fantasy. I don't know. Anyway, the way it ended did set it up to be a very interesting story going forward. And honestly, this might be a spoiler to say, but I won't say which series, but the way that it is set up now is very similar to another book series that I read, fantasy series or trilogy even, that I did really enjoy that one. So we'll see. It's seeming very similar. So we'll see what happens. I am gonna read the second book, and hopefully I'll enjoy it and wanna read the last one as well. So the first book, if I were to rate, I would honestly give it a 3. 3 stars. Sorry, I'm gonna take my Kindle out because I realize I've been tapping on it. It's like the same sound this whole entire time. I love this tapping. So yeah, I would give it 3 stars. Again, like, I know it's the first book, it's kind of the setup, but I feel like it still could have been more interesting, and because like other books that are first in the series are very interesting, and they still are setting it up, but with more going on. So yeah, I give it 3 stars, and so far I wouldn't say that I'm loving it, and I'm really not invested in the world yet. Yeah, I don't know why. Again, maybe just not enough was going on, but I really didn't connect with any of the characters. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But I know a lot of people really like this one. And people that like, whose, again, opinions I usually agree with. So we'll just have to see how the rest of the series goes. If you guys have read this one, let me know, let me know. Although I'm just realizing it's literally called, I'm pretty sure this series is called like the Prison Healer trilogy, and it's all about her being a healer, and now she's, oh, that's a spoiler, I can't say that. Okay, skip ahead if you don't want to hear this spoiler, but at the end of the book, she does escape the prison. So her being like a prison healer doesn't really apply anymore. That's another thing I want to say. Okay, you can come back. This is not a spoiler anymore. But this prison was supposed to be like the deadliest prison in the kingdom. Like, everyone, you'd come here, you'd die. It was very dangerous. Like, this was the worst of the criminals, you know? And then just reading about it, it didn't feel very dangerous. Like, yeah, people were dying and things were going on, but it didn't feel like scary, especially like in a fantasy world. It didn't feel like this terrifying prison that the worst people are in and nobody wants to end up there. Like, it just felt like a regular prison. So I did feel like a little let down in that aspect. Anyway, that's my rant. I'm sorry if my thoughts are jumbled and all over the place, and if I'm confusing when I talk about stuff, but that's why I had to film this video, like, now, before I start not forgetting watching,